guys, Julia here from JM Squared Vintage. Welcome back to the channel. I am here today with the Ship With Me. These are all orders that came through over the weekend. This is the first weekend with the new Poshmark fees, and as kind of expected, it was a little bit slow, at least on the Poshmark side. But how are your weekends? Let me know. I'm interested to hear how everybody is doing kind of after this fee change. Have you noticed sales staying the same? Have you noticed them going up? Have you noticed them going down? Let me know down below in the comments. But before we get started here, guys, if this is the first time we're meeting, first and foremost, welcome. I am Julia. That is my name. We talk all things thrifting and vintage and reselling on the internet here. If that sounds like something that you might be into, consider hitting subscribe down below. I would love to have you along on this journey. But without further ado, guys, as per absolutely usual, it is like 3:15 on Monday afternoon, so I am running super late. I've got to get these things packed up and over to the post office ASAP. So why don't you go grab yourself a snack, grab yourself a drink, sit back, relax, and let's get into the shipments. So our first piece here is one that is definitely from a Bolo brand. This is from Tuckernuck. Tuckernuck is one of those brands, I don't know if they have a brick and mortar. I'm sure they have a brick and mortar somewhere. Their whole thing is very preppy, very well-made clothes. So they're pretty expensive if you were to go and buy online. I wanna say the dresses are gonna range from like 120 to like 200. This is one of their like less significant pieces. I've had a few of my own. I've sold a few, I've found a few and sold a few. You're gonna see generally between like $40 to like $120 depending on the pieces that you have. They do have some sub-brands. I can't remember them all. I want to say there's 2 or 3. One of them off the top of my head is Pomander Place. If there are more, I'll link them down below, because you want to make sure that you are keeping your eyes out for these brands because they are highly sought after. I've never sold anything and had it sit for much more than a month or two, and I always get great prices on them. Again, their quality really stands out. So a brand I like to find, a brand I like to wear, and a brand I like to sell. But let me know if you have ever found any Tuckernuck pieces. I'm interested to hear what you found, where you are, like where you are in the country, where you found it, and how much it sold for, how quick it went. I want to know if everybody's experience is this. I'm pretty sure it is. It's definitely a great brand, very classic pieces. Anyway, so I had this listed for $52 for just under 1 month. I got an offer for $40, which I did accept. With the $1 cost of the bins, this brought my profit to $34.07. So again, this is one of the less significant pieces I've ever found from Tuckernuck. It's just a little like quarter zip sweatshirt, but those dresses sell in lightning speed. Next up, talk about a brand I never thought I'd find at the bins. This is Brunello Cucinelli. Brunello Cucinelli, if you are unfamiliar, is one of those like rich brands that are so rich that most people don't even know them. This is like head and shoulders above like Gucci, right? So their undershirts, for example, sell for like $900 for undershirts. So this is kind of in the same vein as like a Loro Piana. Like, you know how nobody knew who Loro Piana was until Succession happened, right? So Brunello Cucinelli is one of those kinds of brands. So I found it, this is just, it's a vintage, this is definitely from the Y2K era. It's just a little camisole. So certainly not a significant piece, but just an exciting label to find. Let me know if you have ever found Brunello Cucinelli in the thrift or in the bins or at any point out in your sourcing. I am dying to know who else has found this at like rock bottom prices. But obviously they are, you know, very much an old money kind of company. There's almost never going to be any external branding. It's all going to be just like extremely high quality textiles and extremely high quality finishings. You know, this is definitely from the set of people who do not like to flash their money. They just like to own the best. So this one, I had no idea how to price it. There wasn't much out there that was like it. There were newer camisoles, which were going in the like $50 to $100 range, but this is a little bit older. So I had this listed at $55. And I did have it for about 6 months. I ended up getting an offer for $35, which I did accept. I was ready to move this on. And again, for a camisole, $35 all day. With a $1 cost of the bins, this brought my profit to $29.55. And I got to have the thrill of finding a label like that in the bins. I'll never get tired of those moments, ever. Next up, this is one that came in and out of my closet super quickly. This is a 100% linen dress. And the brand on it is Made in Italy. I guess that's the brand. That is the tag that's back there. It's very much like a Log and Look silhouette. Now, they don't retail for all that much, but the quality is nice, the linen is beautiful, so I knew it would be a quick sell. Anything that I can really, truly label as Log and Look is generally gonna move pretty quickly. These silhouettes are sought after globally. It is a style that is like rooted in Germany, so Log and Look obviously being a German word, literal translation, layered look. But there's not many companies who make these pieces, so they do tend to sell really quickly. It's kind of in the same vein as like, you know, like ModCloth. You know how like ModCloth and Unique Vintage and Collective and even Dolls Kill, you know how those brands sell really quickly, kind of no matter what they are, because there's just limited brands that make styles like that. Log and Look pieces are really in the same vein. Like there are definitely like higher end brands, like where you're gonna be getting $100, $200 per piece, but anything, like even the kind of no-name brands that you can get on Amazon, they sell well, they sell quickly. You know, you have to kind of know what you're playing in. This is a brand that probably retails like $35. Like it's not a super expensive brand, but because I'm getting it for $1, because of what it is, I'm gonna grab it because I know it's gonna be a quick in and out of my closet. So I had this listed for just 4 days, and I had a lot of interest on it before that sold. And I had it listed for $32. And I got an offer for $24, which I did accept with a $1 cost of the bins. This brought my profit to $19.29. So again, you know, unless you really know the brands that you are like seeking out, unless you really know those like higher end Log and Look brands, and to be sure, like you'll be able to feel the quality in them, just be conscientious of the brand when you are seeing something like that and picking it up. Selling at like $20 to $25 might not be enough meat on the bone for you if you're sourcing in that higher price point. But if you're sourcing low, anything like that, pick it up. It will be in and out of your closet like that. Next up here, oh, this is so cute. So this is a wrap dress from Urban Outfitters. I do not pick up a lot of Urban Outfitters. This is, I guess, brand new with tags. It doesn't necessarily have the tag on it, but it does have the button still attached here. But I just loved the print of this. This felt very like 1960s, very retro. It's a wrap dress. It had a lot of things going for it. Retro style wrap dresses just sell really, really well in my experience. No matter the brand, as long as the quality is right and the condition is right. And of course the price is right. So I consider this one a style pickup more so than a brand pickup. In general, I don't really touch anything from Urban Outfitters unless it's like exceptional on the style side. It's crazy to think now that like Urban Outfitters is considered a less expensive store because like growing up, and I grew up in the Philadelphia area, so like Urban Outfitters and Anthropologie are based in Philadelphia. And they were both like incredibly aspirational brands for us. So anyway, I had this one listed for about 3 months at $32. And I got an offer for $27.20, which I gladly accepted. With a $1 cost of the bins, this brought my profit to $20.66. I hope she loves it. That's such a cute dress. Oh, this was a cool find. Okay, so this was something that was in and out of my closet in a matter of hours. So this I found, it's just a cashmere shawl, and it's from a brand called Mini Rose, which I had never heard of before. That's the label. So, you know, of course, it's cashmere, it's in perfect condition, so I'm gonna pick it up. I didn't know the brand, didn't really care, I was gonna get it anyway. When I got home and I started searching around for it, this particular shawl from Mini Rose retails for like $360. Now, there are other pieces from Mini Rose that don't have the fringe that retail for like half that. So I'm assuming that these are all hand knotted fringes. And on the resale market, they were selling between $40 and $120. So what a find. I'm interested to hear if any of you have ever heard of Mini Rose or have ever found a Mini Rose piece. I mean, it's beautiful, but $360, that's a big dollar sign for something like this. So I got it listed, and as soon as I hit list on this, I immediately started getting interest in it. And then within hours, I got an offer. So I had this listed for $79. I figured I'd just kind of put it right there in the middle. I had it listed for about 4 hours before I got the offer. I got an offer for $61, which I gladly accepted. With a $1 cost of the bins, this brought my profit to $53.79. and I hope she loves it. It really is beautiful. I mean, it is such like a luxury piece, like definition of. Next up here is this adorable dress. It's actually going to one of you. This is from a brand called, I guess it's an initial for thermal. It's THML, which I'd never seen before. I believe they were sold at least for a little bit on Anthropologie. It's this pretty hybrid sweater dress. It's got ultra suede piping down at the bottom, bell sleeves that are kind of like a dark charcoal heather gray. And then this pretty like Moroccan print bodice. It's really unusual in fabulous condition. It's pretty much brand new. And it's got the prettiest like keyhole neckline. It's like a crossover keyhole. So it's not like, you know, cleavage. It's definitely more of like a peekaboo. It's so, so pretty. You can kind of see that neckline right there. So there wasn't much else out there from this brand. This is definitely something I picked up because it felt really nice and I loved the style. So anyway, I had this listed for $27 and I had it listed for just 3 weeks. And I got an offer for $23, which I gladly accepted. With the $1 cost of the bins, this brought my profit to $18.14. And I hope you absolutely love it. It's just a perfect little like fall dress, you know, like this feels very fall to me. All right, next up here is a super funky piece from Zara. This is like a bandana printed full zip hoodie. And it was just so interesting that I had to get it. This is menswear. I almost never pick up Zara men's. This is actually something that my sister-in-law picked up when she was out thrifting, but it's got this embroidery on the back that says "Together Connected," and the fabric on this feels almost like, it almost feels like an upholstery piece. I don't know how else to describe that. It's like a heavy-duty, nubby jacquard weave. So it's got some body to it. It was just so interesting. I had to grab it. You know, and it feels pretty well made and it looks very similar. I can't remember, there's like a designer that has something very similar to this. So I'm assuming it was some kind of a dupe in some way. Anyway, so I picked it up, I gave it a try and I figured it's pretty bulky. So it's one of those things that I kind of had to put an exploding deadline on just because this is not the kind of piece at this size that I want to be holding on to for a year or two. But I had a lot of interest on it pretty immediately. So maybe it was something that was kind of like a well-known dupe for this piece. And if I can figure out where it was, I found it when I was looking this thing up. If I can find it, I'll put the picture of it up here. But anyway, I had a ton of interest on it. I had it listed for $32 and it popped through within 1 month as a full price sale. So there you go. With a $1 cost on the bins on this brought my profit to $27.52. So that was a good pickup, sis. Good eyes for sure. Because that is something that I probably would have left behind. I mean, I would have looked at it because the fabric's interesting, but I probably would not have even pulled that out of the bins. So good eyes for her. Next up, now this is something that I've had for a while. This is from Billabong. This is like a loose open weave poncho. It's in like a serape stripe. I thought that this would go pretty quickly and it did not. I think I've had this for about a year. It looks like it would be a really cute like swim cover up. Anyway, it's super soft. I want to say it's like 100% cotton. It's got like a nice drape to it. And again, it is open weave, so it'd have to be worn with something underneath or as that swim cover up. But over the time I had it, I've had a ton of interest in it, but nobody bit. And I ended up lowering the price on it, I think 1 or 2 times. I know definitely 1, maybe 2. But anyway, I had this listed ultimately at $25 and got an offer for $15. I was ready to move it on. Again, it's a pretty bulky piece. So once you get to a certain amount of time that it's been sitting in the closet, you start to think about like, okay, yeah, do you want to still have this in there? Anyway, so I took the offer for $15. I had it for a little over a year. With a $1 cost of the bins, this brought my profit to $10.75. Happy to be moving this on. It is a really cute piece. I want to say it retailed probably about $70. So I hope she loves it and I hope it goes to good use. There's nothing better than when I'm on like the brink of donating something back, having it pop through even for $15, $10, whatever, like happy to move it on. Next up here is this pair of Judy blue jeans. Now these are kind of like a relaxed fit. Not quite skinny, but pretty skinny. And I believe this was the first piece of Judy Blue that I ever found. And I gotta say, I know there's a lot of people that do really well with it. And maybe it's just the pieces that I found, but I have not been impressed. So I'm interested to hear your experience with Judy Blue. Is it something that flies out of your closet? Is it something that you seek out? Is it something that you only pick up specific styles? Now, I know that these were not skinnies. I've seen other pairs that were skinnies, and I had seen them before I grabbed this. But I've had some other different pieces, not necessarily jeans. I've had like faux leather pants, I've had a jumpsuit, and none of them moved well and none of them sold for a high price. At least for me, that's my experience. So I'm interested to hear what your experience has been. So anyway, I had these for about 3 months, and I had them listed for $34, and I got an offer for $26, or I'm sorry, I sent an offer during Closet Clear Out for $26, which was accepted with a $1 cost of the bins. This brought my profit to $20.93. So let me know what you think about Judy Blue. I'm interested. I'm interested because I hear a lot of people that absolutely love it. Next up is this amazing dress from Desigual. I love Desigual. This actually does not look much like a Desigual piece. Usually Desigual are these like bold cotton broadcloth patterns in like turquoises and pinks, and they're really vivid, and it's a lot of like mixed prints. But any Desigual piece is something that I will pick up. And this is just an interesting like kind of heavyweight jersey sheath dress with this very cool leopard print on it. Desigual in general is one of those brands that'll take probably a little bit longer to sell on average, but it's just got a limited buyer pool. But the people who dress in Desigual, the people who love Desigual, like that is their style. Like you could literally describe their style as Desigual and people would know what you're talking about. They're just very like timeless in their own funky, cool, like irreverent way. I really love them. I want to say that they're a Spanish brand. Anyway, so I had this listed for $42. I had it for about 9 months. Again, Desigual will sell slower, but it will sell, and usually for a pretty great price. So I got an offer on this for $33 after 9 months, and with a $1 cost of the bins, this brought my profit to $26.31. And I'm happy to be getting that into somebody else's hands. I always use, when you have something from Desigual, you want to use like artwear, art to wear, artsy, like it kind of lives in that world. A lot of like art teachers, I always say like Log and Look reminds me of like an art teacher's style, but Desigual is also in that mix. And finally here we have this pair of little kick boot jeans from Mother Jeans. I mean, I love finding Mother. These were teeny tiny size. They're a size 24, I think, which I think is about a size 2. And they're this kind of like cropped kick boot flare. I've had them for a little while, but I'm not surprised just given the size and the style. Definitely a brand you want to keep your eyes out for because Mother is very expensive. I want to say that their jeans run about $230 to like $300 for Mother Superior jeans. I love the style. They have those like really distinctive back pocket stitch designs, the M on the back pockets. So they're very much status jeans. You see them everywhere here. Of course, you want to be keeping your eyes out for the more modern cuts, looser legs, relaxed fit, more like 90s style fits, but pretty much anything from Mother will sell eventually just because they're Mother jeans. I am always excited when I find them. They're something that you could probably pretty comfortably pay up $10, $15 if you see them out in the wild. So I had these listed for $89 and I had them for about 6 months. Again, there was a bit going against them, the size and the style, but still. I got an offer for $75, which I gladly accepted. And with a $1 cost at the bins, this brought my profit to $65.75. So I hope she loves them. I'm glad to be moving those on. I love, you know, again, you find a pair of Mother jeans in the bins, of course you're gonna grab them. But that is it, guys. That is the shipment for today. Of course, I am running late, so I need to get these things packed up into their bag and over to the post office. So I want to thank you all so much for hanging with me while I literally get my work done. It is always so nice to like have somebody to talk to while I do this. But if you had fun, please consider leaving a like or comment on this video. Of course, don't forget to hit subscribe. I would love to have you along on this journey. But without further ado, guys, have the most beautiful weekend. I hope your sales are going well with this whole new change. Happy hunting, and I will see you in the next one.